Hello darlings, it is day 4 of my fast, day 13 or 14 total of fasting, I think. For those of you who have not been following, or I just didn't say it, I will every so often crack and have a meal and then go right back to fasting, which is why my longer fast has been broken up. But this is the first time I've ever fasted, and wanted to share some of the experiences. Also, I found my makeup, so the whole Lent thing of not being a slob with my appearance, like I've got on a cute sweater set, and check out that eyeliner game. It took me forever. So, I'm a little bit of a cold sleeper. I haven't done my hair yet. I'll do that before I go to work. But I'm a little bit of a cold sleeper. In the last 2 nights, I've literally woken up shivering, even though I am in bed with really thick blankets. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I'm gonna buy a heating pad and keep it on my side of the bed tonight. So if I wake up like completely freaking shivering cold, I can at least warm myself up a little. And also did the whole like I woke up with tons of energy at 3:30 in the morning, and people are like, well, you can meditate, you can enhance your spiritual practice, you can get more cleaning done. And instead I laid in bed and thought of arguments or things I should have said in arguments that were over like 10 years ago. So not the best for enhancing my spiritual practice. One thing I've noticed is like the first fast I did, like day 2 was brutal. Like I was thinking cheeseburger for hours. It was really hard. It was a real struggle, and part of that is psychological. I'm coming from a binge and emotional eating disorder background. And a lot of that is physiological. Ghrelin is the hunger hormone. Women tend to have stronger ghrelin spikes than men do, and it takes a little bit of fasting to get the ghrelin levels down. So every time a ghrelin level would peak, I would end up with these intense food cravings. And yeah, the first fast was like having a baby hard. It was, and I barely made it 2 days. Second fast, 2.5 days. Then I made it 6 days, and now I'm on day 4, and it is easier. It has been easier to get through the hump this time than it was to get through day 2 on the first fast. So if you're thinking about fasting and you try it and it's just super hard, it doesn't mean it's not for you. It just means you need a little practice for your body to like release the correct enzymes so that you don't feel like shit, and like the ghrelin levels go down so you stop like having the intense hunger spikes. And the nice thing is the hunger goes away if you just wait it out. It's like a cigarette craving, but less intense in a lot of ways. So you just can acknowledge it and go, yep, I'm feeling this right now, and in an hour I won't be feeling this anymore. And the peak happens in like 20 minutes. So if you can ride out that 20 minutes, like that's all the willpower you need. You don't need a day's worth of willpower. You need 20 minutes worth of willpower, which is a lot more doable. And thinking of it that way helped me get through a couple of times. Another thing is this is really, really good for you. This is really healthy. The benefits are crazy. It's not going to be easy. Nothing worth having is easy. Nothing that is going to change your life is going to be easy. This isn't as hard as plenty of other things that I've done. The amount of suffering is mostly psychological and brought upon by yourself. And there's some self-cultivation that has to go on about willpower and mind over matter, but it's doable. It's not, I mean, somebody, yeah, I mean, I work in an office with a lot of older women, and there's always food and snacks and candy bowls everywhere. I think there are more grandmas in my office than there are moms. We'll just put it that way. Like there's a demographic shift. So like the temptation is going to be there, but you have to want the results more than you want the temptation. And honestly, it's not that I can't have a Reese's peanut butter cup. I'm choosing not to have a Reese's peanut butter cup now, which has also been a big deal for me with the whole emotional eating issue. Part of my issue is I did go hungry as a kid a fair there were multiple times it happened, and sometimes it got pretty bad. So I pretty determinedly learned that one, if you're quiet, people will literally ignore you to death, and two, if there's food available, eat it now because you don't know if it's going to be there tomorrow. There was one time when we went to I went to 11 elementary schools in 4 states, and there was one time nobody noticed that the free lunch paperwork hadn't been put in, and since I'm kind of a shy person, and I've overcome that because of this particular issue, mom was sort of out of it and not really paying attention to stuff. Dad was working double shifts, so he wasn't home very much. So I was being dropped off at school for free breakfast, which I wasn't getting, and free lunch, which I wasn't getting, and mom wasn't cooking dinner. So I was in 3rd grade. So as a 3rd grader, I literally went for a week with zero food. And despite what some YouTubers might say, children are not set up for fasting. They don't have an adult enzyme or liver delivery system. Like, they don't switch to ketosis easily. It was not good. It was really, really not good. And that's where I basically learned that if I don't advocate for myself, nobody will, nobody noticed enough to the point where I felt like I was dying. Because a week of fasting at 9, it's hard as an adult. It wasn't a choice. It was done to me. So that's where a lot of my eating disorder issues come from. That's why I'm in therapy. And it's really hard to let go of that because I have enough food in my body right now to last me a really long time. And another rule that I've been trying to impose on myself is that I'm not going to eat unless my blood sugars are 100. I have broken this a couple of times, but that's the goal. That's what I'm shooting for, and that's also really helped me stay on track. So those are 2 tips. I'm sure there are other people who've done way better and longer fasts than I have, but if you're just starting out, sometimes it's nice to have another beginner's perspective who's just one step past you. Thank you, guys. I'm going to go and do my hair and go to work and make sure that all of those 1s and 0s are in the right place. Thank you, darlings, and you have a wonderful day. Mwah.